Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Psychic Cup, showcasing another very powerful team featuring Galarian Slowking. Could easily be the best Pokemon in the entire meta. It's tied there with Galarian Rapidash, I must say, but it will be in the back to close, and also in the back on the safe swap, Galarian Slowbro, here to put intense pressure on the fairies, of course, as well as all other psychics in this meta, and Medicham! Seems extremely counterintuitive to run a fighter in this meta, but it serves a unique purpose of addressing Malamar, Bruxish, and Bronzong to a lesser extent. This is actually a slightly modified version of team number 2 from my top 5 best teams. We swapped out DD for Medi, and we were in business. Here we go. Gardevoir here. There are a lot of Gardevoirs, but obviously Slowbro handles those brilliantly. We've got a Latios here, Shadow Latios. So this is looking like a fast move pressure team here in the Psychic Cup. You often see that in these mono-type cups, but I think we can get that farm down, and we do. We have loaded energy, but we don't get the energy off. They snipe with a one-turn move. Oh my gosh, that was brutal. But that is okay. We've got Medicham for Bruxish, like I said at the beginning, guys. And if you feel very uncomfortable about running Medi in this meta, I understand that, but it shuts down these dark type moves like you wouldn't believe. You can run Malamar in the place of Medicham if you are that uncomfortable with running Medi in this meta. But honestly, Medi handles the Bruxish, the Bronzong, and the Malamars. The bros, they literally carry the team. That's all Medi is here to do. And we don't throw Dynamic Punch because I don't want to win this. I want to perhaps get one hex ahead on this Gardevoir remaining. And I don't believe we will be needing any shields. We accomplished just that. We have a slight energy lead. We did get one hex through to take out that Bruxish. And with the poison typing, we're resisting Charm, getting off one Surf that goes shielded, and they can only make it to a triple axle here. This is not a Shadow Ball. Charm is just far too slow, and we've got solid bulk. We tank that like a champ. Long enough to finish off this Gardevoir here. We're saying bye-bye to the Gardevoir, courtesy of the Community Day Surf on our Slowking. That's going to be a good game. Well played. This slightly modified version of team number 2 from my top 5 best teams was amazing, guys. I'm telling you, for reasons like this. This is why Medi is on this team. We shut down these Malamars, Bruxish, because we're a part fighting type. So we only take neutral damage, and Medi, quite bulky, handles them brilliantly. But again, and we're going for Dynamic Punch. They don't shield the Malamars, and they're staying in on a really bad lead. So we're going to shield, reading that they are perhaps core broken by Medicham, and we do successfully shield up the Hyper Beam. Not completely core broken, but very close. They've got a Claydol, a very tanky Pokemon. It just suffers from not having a decent fast move. But they are running the right fast move for this meta here, Mud Slap. And we do throw with proper timing there. We have a 2-turn fast move. Mud Slap is a 3-turn. We shield that Shadow Ball successfully. So if you have a 2-turn fast move up against a 3, you'll want to be throwing on 1, 4, 7, or 10 of your fast moves. And that is precisely what we are doing here. Throwing with proper timing yet again, going for the super effective Ice Punch. This Claydol has all the potential in the world. It is one good fast move away from being top tier meta in the Open Great League. I'm not kidding. But they've got a Slowbro of their own, and we've got just the answer to this thing, even at a shield disadvantage. We all but hardwall this thing. They can only go for Surfs unless they're running Psychic in the Psychic Cup. That is insane. Holy smokes. Oh, hats off to them. The only reason you would ever want that is for an opposing Slowbro or Slowking. And my goodness, they found the right team here because we have both. They tried catching on that Malamar, but we did not fall for it. We're just going straight Surf here, trying to put intense pressure on the Slowbro. It's looking like this thing is really trying to go for an aggressive farm, which they will get. So they've got this Mad Lad is running Psychic. Holy smokes. We're going to have to try and pull off an old switcheroo. Going to throw our own in, show it, and then hope like heck that they Don't know what they're doing. They throw, but no, they do. Oh my gosh, this trainer. They throw the surf, likely anticipating the old switcheroo. They did not fall for it, so we end up taking a neutral psychic anyways, but it doesn't matter. We're farming down anyways. My goodness, they played that brilliantly. Hats off to our opponent. Good game, well played to them. Team number 2 from my top 5 best Psychic Cup teams was amazing, guys. I'm telling you. But yeah, Victini, we swap into Slowbro here. Again, Medi's on this team to handle Malamar, Bruxish, and Bronzong. The other two, the Slowbros, the bros, they carry the team for sure. We're going to tank this V-Create. We do survive. And they swap to clear that debuff and do it into a Slowking of their own. So that's a very, very good counter swap here for us. Core breaks a little bit here, but one Pokemon cannot do it all. We tried to throw with proper timing, and I misjudged how much those hexes were doing. They don't have stab, so I was not only trying to throw with proper timing. That's not important in that situation, but maximizing the damage output on the fast move really was what I was angling for, but that was a massive misplay because we could have gotten off another surf if we had thrown with poor timing, but yeah, that was bad. But we're in here with our Medi, and we are going for these neutral ice punches here on the Slowking, and they do let it go. That's beautiful. That's a major obstacle out of the way. Holy smokes. And we're going to go for the resisted dynamic punch here. It does more raw damage than an ice punch is actually resisted as well. So both of our moves, all of our moves from Medi potentially would be resisted by Victini, which is why it's a very good matchup for Medi. Gonna let that go and put the hope and faith into our Slowking. And they've got a Rapidash in the back. Oh, when I saw that typing, I was thinking Gardevoir, but when I saw that unicorn come onto the field, I was like, oh man, can we get this done here? We're going to try our best for sure. Going to go for the Surf here and really start to put the pressure on. We did build up to the Shadow Ball, and they do shield. As a Shadow Ball would one-shot a Rapidash, no problem. It is quite squishy. So it really does need those shields to perform. We know that, so we're putting the heavy pressure on. Now I just want to get chip damage at this point, going for another Surf here. Grabbing the final shield, that is beautiful. Gotta watch out for a potential catch. We have to shield this Body Slam here. That Victini's hanging on by a thread. We do super effective fast move pressure. Gotta watch out. We do watch out, but I didn't think it had that much health. I thought we could farm down, but we cannot. We have to throw a move, and we are just one hex off from our next Surf. We get there! Holy smokes! Galarian Slowking, insanely good in this meta. We are gonna say bye-bye to that G-Dash, and my goodness. It was down a shield up against the G-Dash with 2 shields and a Victini hanging on by a thread. Still got it done. Good game, well played to them. Slowking on team number 2 from my top 5 best teams was amazing. I was thoroughly impressed with it. Here we go, Gardevoir. We go into our Slowbro, and they meet us with a Victini. Slowbro handles the 2 fairies in this meta brilliantly. I cannot stress that enough. That's why it's on the team. We go for a super effective Surf, and they do let that go. We will shield up their V-Create. They're not making it to another move. V-Create, literally the best move in the game, but it comes at a cost because it harshly lowers the defense by 3 stages. So they don't survive that poison jab. And they've got another fairy. Holy smokes, ABA fairy. I kind of get it. It's okay, but not with Slowbro lurking in the meta. Kind of brutal for an ABA fairy team, I must say. So this is just a Body Slam. We do survive this, and we are resisting this fast move pressure with our poison typing long enough to get off another Surf and really put heavy pressure on this unicorn here that barely KOs, and all they have left is another fairy coming in the form of Gardevoir. But little did they know we had another bro lurking in the back, and they do promptly top left as we were just going to farm down with super effective hexes. Oh, the bros are amazing. That's going to be another good game. Well played. Slowking on team number 2 from my top 5 best teams, arguably the best closer in the entire meta. But here we go again. Why Medi is on this team for Malamar and Bruxish as well as Bronzong. Handles those 3 very common Pokemon about as well as anything could. But again, if you're very nervous about running a fighter in this meta such as Medicham, you can run your own Malamar, but you will be faced with that very annoying 50-50 mirror. They catch a dynamic punch on the Bronzong. Speaking of, the 2 of the Pokemon that we were targeting with Medi on the same team, now we're going to bait. We showed the dynamic punch, hits for neutral damage, but quite a bit of neutral damage. Grabbing a shield, very risky bait there, but I was confident we could successfully pull it off, and we did. Gonna shield up this heavy slam. We're still very healthy. Gonna look to counter down with neutral counters on the Bronzong again. Why Medi does serve a purpose in this meta, and they've got a fairy in the back. So we reacted fast enough to get our Slowbro in on this unicorn here, preserving a dynamic punch. Gonna try and get that final shield because I am quite confident that dynamic punch should get the job done on this Malamar here. Gonna go for the surf here. And they do shield. That's precisely what we needed here. A foul play will not KO us from this range. They're gonna have to likely dump all of their energy. Yeah, because we're gonna make it to another surf, and now their energy dry. I do believe Medicham loses CMP tie, so them throwing here was amazing. They really kind of had to. And we do have that dynamic punch, courtesy of our farm on that Bronzong. And we're saying bye-bye to the Malamar, and now it is smooth sailing from here. Shields are down. It's getting a little nerve-wracking, but not really. They can throw whatever they want. Even a super effective high horsepower does not KO rank 3 shiny Galarian Slowking. We hang on by a thread long enough to get to this surf here, and we're saying bye-bye to the unicorn as well. I'm telling you guys, Slowking, one of the best closers in this meta. Good game, well played. Team number 2 from my top 5 best Psychic Cup teams was coming in clutch in this meta. And here we go. Alolan Raichu. We immediately go into our Slowbro safe swap here and gonna look to fire off a surf because Alolan Raichu, quite squishy, has to give up those shields, especially if they have a wild charge shield breaker strat where they just YOLO wild charges to get those shields down. It looks like that's what they're employing here. They go for wild charge number 1. We're on to what they're trying to do here with this strategy. So we will even up the shielding scenario and look to go for a resisted farm down after they have lowered their defense to the max here by 4 stages. And they've got a Victini in the bag, so gonna go for the dynamic punch here. Again, it's all resisted, but dynamic punch does more raw damage with stab here. And that is quite meaningful. That's some meaningful resisted damage there. Victini, of course, not known for its bulk. Gonna let this move go. We should survive a V-Create. Overheat, I'm not so sure, but yeah, V-Create, we survive, no problem. And right about here, I really debated shielding, and I opt to shield, thinking that, you know, what if there's a Malamar in the back, then we're in trouble. So that might come back to bite us, as Malamar is often on the lead, and it's not a Malamar. If we had saved that shield, we would have been in a much better position here. Because this thing up a shield, if they're running high horsepower, we saw how much damage it did, but we've got to get through that shield, and Surf is just not going to cut it. So yeah, shielding up that Medi there was a massive misplay and did cost us the game. So yeah, in hindsight, should have let that go. We would have been in a much better spot. Likely would have won this one, but hey, you can't win them all. We zigged when we should have zagged. Good game. Well played to our opponent. Team number 2 from my top 5 best teams was amazing. I would recommend hopping on it before a lot of people catch on and begin countering it. But here we go. G-Dash on the lead here. Gonna stay in here a little bit. I generally insta-swap here, but I want to stay in and try a different method here on this thing. I'm going to look to chip and grab some early shields here off of this thing, because if you can preserve a shield advantage for your Slowking in the endgame, it is next to unstoppable. A 2 shield advantage, even better. Nothing, I don't think, beats Slowking with a 2 shield advantage, but they hit us with that super effective high horsepower. It doesn't KO. And they swap into a Gardevoir running Magical Leap. That's a new update for Season 16. You still want to go with Charm with Stab. That is still going to be the better way to go, even in a meta like this. So they do take us out after tanking a Surf, not wanting to give up that final shield, and we are going to go for the Ice Punch, taking out the Gardevoir, running Magical Leap, and they've got a Hypno in the back. Holy smokes. Guys, please don't run Hypno in this meta. It is going to be much more of a liability than it's worth in this meta. It only learns Psychic type fast moves. Yes, it does have Shadow Ball. Yes, it is about as tanky as it gets, but it is just not worth it, in my humble opinion. And we do call a Fire Punch bait there, which is amazing for us. And they shield our Surf bait. We're looking A-okay here. Now we will begin to start shielding because we will easily make it to a Shadow Ball because we did successfully land that Surf bait there. And Confusion is far too slow for them to catch this move. So we make it to the Shadow Ball saying bye-bye to the Hypno. And it is smooth sailing from here. All we have to do, shield up this Body Slam, and they will go down to the super effective hexes. I'm telling you. Galarian Slowking. Probably the best closer, right up there with G-Dash, guys. And we saw right there. Good game, well played. Oh, team number 2 from my top 5 best Psychic Cup teams. Quite effective in the meta. And here we go. Another unicorn here on the lead. So, again, I was trying to employ a strategy where we can get an early shield advantage because, like I said, Galarian Slowking on team number 2 here, if you can preserve any sort of shield advantage, preferably even a 2 shield advantage, it is quite literally next to unstoppable. They're not giving up the shields, so we make a play into our Slowbro, and we are met with a Bruxish. Again, why Medicham is on this team in this meta here. It serves a very unique role. It addresses 3 of the most common Pokemon that we see, Bruxish here being one of them. Malamar, every bit as common as Bruxish. Medicham handles those to perfection. And we grab the 2 shield advantage for our Slowking, and it is over. It is over, guys. If you get 2 shields for Slowking, look out. This thing absolutely sweeps like you wouldn't believe. Gonna let that go, preserve those shields, and we are only taking neutral damage with our fighting typing from these bites here. And I'm gonna take out the Bruxish, securing the way for our king here, and oh my gosh. They've got the Slowbro in the back. We all but hardwall this thing. They can catch the Shadow Ball all they want. It's not gonna help them. But we do get to get the unicorn out of here, and it is over. They have no shields, and even if they did, it was still over. Good game, well played to our opponent. Again, guys, you might want to hop on the train before people start countering. Team number 2 here from my top 5 best teams. But here we go, Gardevoir. We cannot stand that whatsoever. We go into Slowbro, and they meet us with a Cresselia, a Pokemon that I think actually has very, very strong play here. It's often overshadowed by the Bruxishes and the Malamars, but it has play. It actually beats Bruxish, I do believe, last time I checked. But it does not beat a Slowbro, however, and they are severely core broken here. We hardwall Cresselia like you wouldn't believe. Gonna go for the Sludge Bomb. That is what you'll want to be running in this meta. I do not recommend Psychic. It is far too niche. Sludge Bomb just has much broader coverage. We are now grabbing shields from the very tanky Cresselia. You love to see it. Gonna try and grab that final shield or flip switch here. I'm fine with either one because, as I said, if you can secure shield advantage for Slowking in the back, you're likely gonna win, I would say, the high 90% of your battles. That is how powerful of a closer it is, especially with a shield. So we do grab the 2 shield advantage, and it is likely over for our opponent. Nothing beats this thing up 2 shields in this meta, guys. They've got a Medi of their own in the back, and it is over. We were going to blast the remainder of that team with Shadow Balls and one-shot everything, securing the win. They saw what was coming their way. They do top left. Good game. Well played to them. And that is team number 2, guys, from my top 5 best teams for the Psychic Cup. The original team 2, again, did have Deoxys, but I saw potential of there being far too many Malamars and Bruxish, so I wisely made a slight modification to the original Team 2. This is now the new recommended Team number 2 here with Medi in the place of Deoxys. And my goodness, did it work to perfection, guys. We were shutting down those Malamar leads. We answered Bruxish beautifully, and that's because with the fighting subtyping, we only take neutral damage from the dark type moves in this meta here. So we have the bulk to hang in there and get the job done on the Bruxish, the Malamar, and the Bronzong. We even put in work up against Claydol, which would have been a nightmare if we had been running the original Team 2. Again, this is the brand new recommended Team 2 here. Medi on the lead, the 2 bros in the back. Is a recipe for a lot of gains in the Psychic Cup. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.